Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to the channel. David here with another cryptocurrency update. First of all, thank you guys all for liking these videos, sharing them, and subscribing to this channel. It is very important to me and to every other channel that you interact with. It is one of the most important things. One of the things that we strive for is the interaction and the communication that we get between us and you guys, our followers, our subscribers, our friends, our family, and just all in general XRP community supporters or crypto supporters. So thank you guys. Be sure to share this with your friends and family. Today we're going to dive into the Token Taxonomy Act. I'm going to try to run through it quickly, but yet run into these bullet points. I've brought out the highlighter. I've made some notes. I'm going to try to make correlations. I didn't reach too far to make these correlations between the Token Taxonomy Act and how we can incorporate that into XRP being utilized and adopted and legal. But I can tell you that I don't believe that at any point in the future you're going to be hearing anybody from the government ever mention Ripple or XRP. I don't think you're going to hear the SEC talking about it. I don't think you're going to hear the government itself, anyone. I have a feeling like the government and the powers that be, the reason why they went out on a ledge and said that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities and that they left Ripple and XRP outside of that equation. I think the reason is to try and draw our attention away and trying to push the masses in a different direction. But let's take a dive. This is going to be a pretty detailed video. If you guys don't want to sit through the information, I definitely understand, but start a conversation down below either way. Here we go. Definition of a digital token. These are all things that are going to be added to the 1933 Securities Act. That's the most important thing that we have to understand. We're going to get into taxes. We're going to get into like-kind transactions. We're going to cover the whole thing. This is something very important as we all daily discuss how regulation is so important and America needs to get on board. This bill is America getting on board. Understand that for sure. We need to support this bill. We need to support the two gentlemen who enacted this bill, Representative Davidson and Warren, or Warren Davidson. Okay? We need to go out and support him. I don't even know his name. We need to support him. It's really important. All right, here we go. Information time. Definition of a digital token. A digital token. The term digital token means a digital unit that is created in response to the verification or collection of proposed transactions. XRP, created in response to the verification or collection of proposed transactions. No question. 2, pursuant to the rules for digital units creation and supply that cannot be altered by a single person or a group of persons under common control, or as an initial allocation of digital units that will otherwise be created in accordance with Clause 1 and 2. 100 billion XRP were created, no more, no less. The digital token was created itself by Jeb McCaleb, Arthur Britto, David Schwartz. XRP itself was created in response to the verification collection of proposed transactions. No question. And it has to be recorded, interestingly enough, on a distributed ledger. A digital ledger, a digital data structure in which consensus is achieved through mathematically verifiable process. And after consensus is reached, cannot be materially altered by a single person or group of persons under a common control. No single person can destroy or create XRP. 100 billion, that's it. We just said that. Ripple's distributed ledger technology, the XRP ledger, consensus with its validated ledgers in place. Distributed. These are all things that correlate to XRP. They literally correlate to the Ripple distributed ledger if you go ahead and make those connections. We're going to keep going. And it is capable of being traded or transferred between persons without an intermediate custodian, and is not a representation of a financial interest in a company, including ownership or debt interest and revenue share. We've discussed that before. Okay, like we said, the ledger's permanent, cannot be altered. Wallet to wallet, you could transfer directly wallet to wallet without an intermediary controlling it. All right, you can go exchange to exchange. You can go SMS to SMS. your own keys. Like we're having the proof of keys, own your keys. Ripple does not profit from XRP, nor do you own Ripple or get any profit from their activities. Understand what we're discussing here. Next section, definition of a security. This is important. All right. By adding at the end, so they're adding things in, by adding at the end the following. B, such term does not include digital token. XRP is a digital token, not a security. And like I said, you'll never hear the government discussing XRP or Ripple, the company itself. I have a feeling like that's going to fall so quietly if you were going to ever ask them any questions. I think they want everyone to just forget that Ripple, the company, existed and that XRP existed so that they have more time and more access to get the ball rolling. Okay. Like we said, so the definition, let's not run over that definition of a security. Such term does not include digital token. Security, definition of a security does not include digital token. Digital token is all of the things we just referenced. Doesn't include digital token. Therefore, digital tokens are not securities. Exemptions. This is big time. We all want to know who's getting exempt, why they're getting exempt. Can we get exempt? Tax money, tax breaks. What's going on here? And again, is amended by adding at the end the following. Transactions involving the development, offer, or sale of a digital unit if A, the person developing, offering, or selling the digital unit has a reasonable and good faith belief that such digital unit is a digital token. Okay, so ICOs. As long as the transactions involving development, offer, or sale of the digital unit, if the person developing or offering or selling the digital unit has reasonable good faith belief that such digital unit is a digital token. This is what we're saying. ICOs. The XRP escrow, exchanges, know what these things are. Know your projects, double check, triple check what they are. Just so that you can have an exact understanding of where your heaviest bags, where they're situated, how they lie in regards to the way this is going to fall. In regards to exemptions. Okay, because it sounds like here you could possibly be exempt if you're offering an ICO. Or if you're an exchange. But you have to know. And like we said, we got to cover more of this. And B, here we go. B, within 90 days following a written notification from the commission to such person that digital unit has been determined by the commission to be a security, that posts a public, the company has to post public notices of such notification and takes reasonable efforts to cease all sales and return all proceeds from any sales of the digital unit, excluding funds reasonably spent on the development of the technology associated with the unit. So, if Ripple was called a security, let's use that hypothetical. If Ripple was called a security, offering XRP unknowingly as a security token, this would take place. What we just discussed would take place. If they were deemed a security, if all the things we didn't just discuss above weren't true for the Ripple team and the XRP distributed ledger technology in conjunction. It would take place. They would be exempt because this falls under exemptions from taxes or punishments. At that point, they might actually have the opportunity to go public. If it's deemed that they might be a security, but that the commissions are going to exempt them from punishment or taxes, that might be the opportunity for Ripple and the XRP distributed ledger to go public. That would be an interesting moment in and of itself. Okay, definition of a bank. And like I said, it's amended, so there's things added. Amended, not added. By inserting or trust company after homeowners in the Loan Act, and by striking receiving deposits and exercising fiduciary powers, and inserting, here's the exciting part, and inserting custodial services. The question is, Coinbase, Binance, Gemini, These entities hold clients' property or money on their behalf, and they're responsible for their safety. So, in the regards to what they're saying here, if the custodial services are going to be defined as a bank, are they going to have to go through banking license and new upgrades and restrictions? And is that going to make Coinbase and Binance and all these places non-existent in the United States because of the fact that they would need to get banking licenses in the US? And I can imagine that that is a difficult process. So like we said, are Coinbase and Binance, are they going to be considered custodial services? Because they're not exempt. They're inserting trust companies. The question is what is a trust company? It's a trust company is formed to act as a trustee or to deal with trusts. So we got to understand that. Definition of a security. Here we go. By adding the following. Such term does not include digital token. Like we said, definition of a digital token. The term digital token has the meaning given to it in Section 2A of the Securities Act 1933. That's the proposed large section that we discussed. All of those things that need to be in appropriate order. Everything in order for the digital token. The consensus, the ledger, everything. The proposed transactions, the verification. That's going to be what is determined as the definition for a digital token. We're going to be getting into the Investment Acts, the Investment Advisors Act of 1940, and all of this is in the same bill, okay? It's amended by inserting, again, the same thing with custodial services. They're going to insert custodial services into the Investment Advisors Act of 1940. Investment Company Act of 1940. Again, they're going to be inserting custodial services. So everybody's getting into the position where they need to have clearly defined terms on what's a custodial service, whether or not a custodial service is a bank, and what the regulation, licensing, and the tax benefits or regulation is going to be behind those entities. So that's going to be really important as we move forward. Next, Section 6, satisfactory control location requirement is that the requirement for satisfactory control location is fulfilled by protecting a digital unit through public key cryptography and following commercially reasonable cybersecurity practices. So basically, they're going to be enacting restrictions and requirements for protecting your digital assets through public key cryptography and reasonably sound cybersecurity measures. Individual retirement accounts. This is where it gets interesting, because as of this point, obviously you cannot invest your cryptocurrency into your retirement account, 401k, or whatever it may be. This is Section 7. Individual retirement account investment in certain virtual currencies not treated as distributions. Okay, and this is going to be the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 is amended in paragraph 3. And they're going to be inserting bullion and virtual currencies. Virtual currencies. All right. And in Section C, in that same subparagraph, they're going to be inserting or after futures contracts. Futures contracts, virtual currencies. It's everything that we're hearing about. All right, next, virtual currency. Like we've said, virtual currency defined is what we're going to talk about right now. For the purposes of this subject, the term virtual currency means a digital representation of value that is used as a medium of exchange and is not a currency within the meaning of Section 988. And in Section 988, I went and looked it up. Non-functional currency that generally give rise to functional currency. Now, functional currency is USD and Euro, that kind of thing. That's a functional currency. Okay, so virtual currency is going to be defined as a non-functional currency, which connects and gives credit to the functional currency. So in conjunction or connection to a real currency. Interesting. Section 8. Certain exchanges of virtual currencies treated as non-taxable exchanges. Here we go. They're striking real property, which is fixed property, and they're going to add in the terminology certain property. I'm shocked if you're still sitting through this, by the way. But I congratulate you. We've still got a little bit to go. Like I said, they're going to be striking real property and inserting certain property in subsection A by adding the following new paragraph, and it's going to be called exchange of virtual currency. An exchange of virtual currency shall be treated as if such exchange were an exchange of real property under this section. But like we said, they're going to be amending by striking exchange of real property and inserting exchange of certain property. Interestingly enough, you can't really clearly define what is certain property at this point, and I challenge you to find what is the definition for certain property. The effective date, interestingly enough, is going to be a backdated date of January 1st, 2017. That's going to be basically predating me, predating most of you in regards to transacting real business or moving money on the blockchain. No question. Here we go. The gain from the sale, we're almost at the end. The gain from the sale or exchange of virtual currency is amended by inserting, again, we're inserting stuff, the following new section. Section 193G, the gain from sale or exchange of virtual currency. Gross income shall not include gain from the sale or exchange of virtual currency for anything other than cash equivalents. Okay, but a cash equivalent is USDT and PAX and USD coin, all of those things. That is USD equivalent, which means you will be charged on your gains from tethering up, it sounds like. But exchange to exchange, no tax. Person to person, no tax. Person to product, no tax. That's what it sounds like to me. The amount of gain excluded from gross income under subsection A with respect to the sale or exchange of virtual currency shall not exceed $600. $600 or more is not excluded. You must file. You must report that. This is the aggregation rule. All sales or exchanges which are part of the same transaction or series of related transactions shall be treated as one sale or exchange. So we were questioning that, whether or not if we made a purchase here, a transfer here, a sell here, if we would be taxed along every portion of this journey. Purchasing in through Coinbase, moving into Binance, moving from Binance back into Coinbase, are you taxed on every one of those? Seems like the answer is no. All sales or exchanges which are part of the same transaction, or a series of related transactions shall be treated as one sale or exchange. Here we go. On to the last little bit, guys. Don't worry. Hang in there with me. Here we go. Reporting of gains or losses. The Secretary of the Treasury shall issue regulations providing for information returns on transactions in virtual currencies. As defined under Section 408 of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, for which gain or loss is recognized. And again, I didn't even really look into that. Reporting gains. The Secretary of Treasury shall issue regulations providing for information returns on transactions in virtual currencies. They want information, and they want regulations for providing information on transactions in virtual currencies, it sounds like. Which is okay. For gains and losses, it's really important. We have to be willing to report our gains and our losses. And again, the effective date here, January 1st, 2017. So it backdates for us. And again, also HR 3708. This is HR 7356. Is again another bill in conjunction with this one that addresses a lot of the things we just went in to the aggregation, the gross income of virtual currency, inflation adjustment, and the reporting losses. Everything here that we are discussing is something that was actually put in front of the United States House of Representatives. And with the new Speaker of the House of the United States, which is Nancy Pelosi, and the Democratic representatives that all have been brought into office here in 2018, we will see what happens politically. And that's going to be the end of the token taxonomy. If you made it to this point in the video, congratulations. I've got a little surprise for you. During our Christmas video, we had a 2-question giveaway for some XRP. Both of those questions were answered, but I never got the wallet information for the second person. So unfortunately, that 50 XRP is getting rolled into today. Today's challenge, if you will, for 50 XRP. And this challenge is going to go on for 24 hours. So it is 2:54 right now in California, Los Angeles. If you share this video to your Twitter, the question is, who gets the most hearts on their Twitter share? That'll be a fun little bit. So share this video on your Twitter. Tag my Twitter handle, which is Ripple XRP Social. That's at Ripple XRP Social. Go ahead and tag me in your share. And whoever gets the most likes within 24 hours is going to receive 50 XRP. So have some fun with that. I really do appreciate the interaction, for all of you guys liking these videos, sharing, subscribing to this channel. Not only my channel, but everybody else in this space. We're growing daily, not maybe by price, but by interaction and value. And you guys are the most expensive thing in this community. Thank you guys very much, and we'll see you in the next episode.